and welcome to the new episode, which is directed to the IGCSE candidates. Here in this episode, I'm going to solve more than 5 different questions from different papers. So here we have 3 questions from paper 3 and 2 questions from paper 4 and 1 question from paper 6. So let's start with the first 3 questions from paper 3. Here we have the bar charts compare the concentration of the main ions in 2 samples of seawater, sample A and sample B. The concentration is given in a milligram per cubic decimeter, and in both of these samples we have positive and negative ions are dissolved in water. So let's start with the question A. Use the information in the bar charts to answer the following questions. Here we have in this question I describe 2 differences in the composition of the seawater in sample A and sample B. Actually, here we have more than 2 options to answer this question, but here we need only 2. Now, in the sample A, you can see clearly the concentration of sodium. It's little bit less than the concentration of sodium in a sample B. And here in the sample A, the concentration of calcium little bit more than calcium ion concentration in a sample B. Let's compare the potassium. Actually, potassium here more than, again, in a sample B. And magnesium here in a sample A, it's less than the magnesium in a sample B. Sulfate also, sulfate is very clear indication or comparison between them. Here the concentration of silicate, sorry, it's not sulfate, silicate, the concentration of silicate in a sample A higher than in the concentration of silicate in a sample B. Here chloride, I think it's this one, it's little bit more than this one. Yes, little bit more than. And hydrogen carbonate here in more than the sample B. So you are free to choose 2 differences in the composition of the seawater in a sample A and B. Just you need to compare between them which one is higher than the other one or lower than the other one in the concentration. Here the next question. Which positive ion has the lowest concentration in sample A? Here you have 2 positive ion and lowest. So this positive ion, this one positive, this one positive, and this one positive. The other are negative. So it's magnesium ion. Sorry. Magnesium ion. In next question, calculate the mass of sodium ions in 100 cubic centimeter of sample B. So sample B, the concentration milligram in a cubic decimeter, and cubic decimeter it's 1000 cubic centimeter. So the question about which ion? Sodium ion. So sodium ion here, it's very clear. That means here the concentration of sodium in sample B, 10 in 1000 cubic centimeter, which is 1 cubic decimeter. If you have 200, what's the concentration? It's very clear. X equal 1000 over 2000, which is 200 times 10. So this one, it will give us 2 milligram. Here, describe a test for sodium ion. Sodium ion, group number 1 ion, so only we have flame test, which it will give us yellow flame. Next question. River water contains small particles of clay. When these particles are viewed under a microscope, they show a random jumpy motion even when the water is still. What name is given to this type of movement? It's called Brownian motion, which is always as random motion, zigzag. Okay, this is the random motion. Okay, next question. Carbon dioxide dissolves in water to form a mixture which contains hydrogen carbonate ion, this one, and hydrogen ion. What's the meaning of the symbol here? You have reaction. This reaction is reversible reaction. Reversible reaction. The solution formed is slightly acidic. Describe how you would use universal indicator paper. Okay, so to determine the pH, first of all, you need to put universal indicator paper in the solution. Okay, so after that, the color of the paper, it will be changed. So what's the color you will get? Then the color of paper will be compared to the table. Okay, because in the universal indicator, which is a little bit different from the litmus paper, that means in the universal indicator we have different colors. Okay, not for example blue and red. So in the acidic medium, for example here 7, yes, 1, 2 it could be red, and then the color will be faded, then it will be increased till you will get the blue. So here the solution, it's slightly acidic, so the color here it will be could be faint blue, sorry, faint red, faint red. That means that your solution is slightly acidic. Carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas which causes a climate change. Explain how carbon dioxide contributes to climate change by global warming. Global warming, increasing the temperature of the atmosphere, of the oceans. State the name of one other greenhouse gas which give one source of this gas. So actually the gas, there is two gases are responsible for global warming or both of these gases are considered as greenhouse gases. The first one is carbon dioxide and the second one is the natural gas, which is methane gas. Methane gas always could be produced from fractional distillation or from the anaerobic digestion from the animals. Okay, both of these two sources. Here is asking about one. You can take one of them. Both of these sources are producing methane gas, which is considered as a greenhouse gas, which is responsible for increasing the temperature of the atmosphere or the ocean, or as a general global warming. And the next question, substances present in 1 cubic decimeter sample of river water in an agriculture area. The table shows the mass of each ion dissolved in 1 cubic decimeter sample. Here we have these ions and the formula of ion and their masses. Okay, and here we have the total of the mass of these ions in 1 cubic decimeter sample. Now, which negative ion has the highest concentration in a gram per cubic decimeter? So the negative ion, this one negative, this one negative, this one, and this one, and this one. So we can see the highest one, which is this one, 1.2. So it's phosphate. So as you like, you may write the formula of ion or the name. So we can write PO4 -3. Give the name of the ion with formula SO4 -2, which is sulfate. Calculate the mass of sodium ion in a 1 cubic decimeter of this water. Here you have the mass of all of them and the total. So you need to add this one plus this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Actually, I have already calculated the mass of all the ions except of sodium, which is unknown, and that give us 0.5, and the total is 6. So 6 minus 5.5, and this one will give us 0.5. So this one here, 0.5. gram. Describe a test for nitrate ion. You need to use aluminum foil, okay, then sodium hydroxide solution, then just heat. You will get gas turns the litmus paper into blue, because the gas which is produced, it's ammonia, and the litmus paper, which is should be wet, litmus paper will give us an alkali solution, which is ammonium hydroxide. Ammonium hydroxide will give us will turn the litmus paper into blue. And the next question, the sample of river water also contains insoluble materials such as clay and the remains of dead animals and plants. What method could be used to separate insoluble materials from the river water? That means here you have something insoluble in water, so you need to do filtration. Okay. Some of the remains of dead animals and plants contain food materials. Which two of the following substances are constituents of food? That means biological compounds. Take two, alkane. No, it's not biological one. Carbohydrate and protein. Particles of clay suspended in river water show Brownian motion. Describe the movement of these particles. As we have explained that in the previous, so it will be random or zigzag. Most of the nitrate ions in the river water come from fertilizers. Explain why farmers use fertilizer. You have two marks. So to improve the growth sorry for that. Growth of plants, and the second here it's one mark, and the second mark to add the essential elements to the soil. Actually, the essential elements are N, P, K, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. Ammonium nitrate is fertilizer. Ammonium nitrate react with calcium hydroxide. Ammonium nitrate react with calcium hydroxide. You will form calcium nitrate, ammonia, and water. Explain why adding calcium hydroxide to the soil at the same time as nitrate fertilizers result in loss of nitrogen from the soil. Look to the reaction. You have two compounds in the products containing nitrogen, this one and this one. The problem with this one, ammonia. Ammonia is gas, okay, because ammonia is formed and ammonia is gas, so it will be evaporated. Okay, so the problem with ammonia, and why it's with the problem with ammonia, because it's gas. Next question. The graph shows how increasing the pressure at constant temperature changes the volume of a fixed mass of carbon dioxide gas. Describe how the volume of gas changes with the pressure. Increase the pressure decreases the volume. Next question. What happens to the average distance of the molecules from each other when the pressure is decreased. When the pressure is decreased, that means the volume it will be increased, so the distance it will be increase. The distance between the molecules it will be increased as the pressure is decreased. Carbon dioxide can be reduced by magnesium according to this reaction. Use the information in the equation to show the carbon dioxide gets reduced. So you have two options to answer this question. Carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide lost its oxygen, so it's reduction. So it's reduction. Or you can say carbon dioxide -2 time 2, here -4 this part and this one +4, it's converted into carbon, which is 0. So here we have gaining, or just we can say gain of electron. So reduction, or the carbon dioxide gets reduced by losing its oxygen or by gaining 4 electrons actually. Which one of these processes doesn't produce carbon dioxide? Respiration, produce. Reaction of an acid with a metal oxide, here you will form H2O, so this one will not form carbon dioxide and he is not produced. Reaction of an acid with carbonate, you will produce carbon dioxide. A thermal decomposition of limestone, it's calcium carbonate, so when you decompose also you will produce carbon dioxide. So the answer here, this one, the neutral, not neutral, the acid metal oxide, you will produce in this case H2O. Give two problems caused by increasing the amount of carbon dioxide. It's global warming, increase the temperature of atmosphere, ice caps melting in the pools. Okay, so we have arrived the end of the paper 3, so let's go to the questions of paper 4. We have these two questions. In this question, you have a clean dry air contains mainly nitrogen and oxygen. Name two other gases that are in a clean dry air. So nitrogen, oxygen, and also you can say carbon dioxide and noble gases. Air often contains pollutant. Identify 3 common gases pollutant. This question is very important. Okay, pollutant in air, and state how each of these pollutants are produced. First one, we can say carbon dioxide, or sorry, it's a pollutant, carbon monoxide, we can say, by incomplete combustion of a fuel. The pollutant gas 2, nitrogen oxides, XY, nitrogen oxides. How it's produced? Nitrogen and oxygen from atmosphere react inside cars engine, so you'll form the nitrogen oxides. Pollutant gas 3, it comes from SO2. How it's formed? Fuel contains sulfur in the combustion. Sulfur dioxide or sulfur trioxide will be produced. Next question. Here we have another clean dry air contains a small amount of carbon dioxide. The percentage of the other gases present in clean dry air are shown in the table. Just you need to complete this table. 78, so it's nitrogen, 21 it's oxygen, and 1 noble gases. Oxides of nitrogen are atmospheric pollutants which can cause acid rain. Okay, so here we can say nitrogen, as the previous one, nitrogen and oxygen from atmosphere react. Where and in which condition? Where inside cars engine at high temperature. What we will form? We will form nitrogen oxides with water from the rain, will give us acidic rain or acid rain. Methane contributes to the greenhouse effect state 2 source. Here, as we have say here, fractional distillation, and the second one we said aerobic digestion of the animals. Combustion and respiration add carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. Name one natural process which removes carbon dioxide from, which is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. Here, the end of the question, the questions which are related to the paper 4. Here we have only one question from paper 6. Air is a mixture of gases. The diagram shows the apparatus used to find the percentage of oxygen in air. Here you have 50 cubic centimeter of air were passed backwards and forwards over excess heated copper until there was no further change. The apparatus was left to cool and the volume of gas remain was 40. That means you have used 20 cubic centimeter. Okay, this 10 cubic centimeter actually reacted with the copper. Oxygen reacted with copper and you have formed copper oxide. Okay, you have formed copper oxide. So just we need to balance this one here. You have two. Okay, so all the oxygen in the air has been reacted with the heated copper. So here just you need to complete the box to the name of apparatus. So here we have syringe, or you can say gas syringe. Use an arrow to indicate where heat is applied. Where is it? It says heated capper. So your capper here, so the heating it will be here. The color of capper change from, you can say pink, orange, yellow, so we can say pink. But the copper oxide which is formed should be black. This one is very important. You need to memorize the copper oxide color, which is black. From the result, work out the percentage of oxygen in the air. So we started with 50 and the remaining is 40. So the oxygen volume, it's 10 cubic centimeter. So let's work the percentage of oxygen in the air. So it's 10 over 50 times 100. So this one, it will give us 1,000 over 50. So this one, it will give us 20%. Okay. So by the end of this equation, actually we have arrived to the end of this episode, and we have solved different ideas which are related to the air and water. Okay, so thank you for listening and watching, and see you in the next episode with new topic questions and with the new maybe I will prepare some not only topic question, maybe full past paper. So it depends on the situation, but maybe to the topic question. So thank you again for watching, and see you again. Bye.